Hello everyone, wishing you a wonderful day ahead. In today's video, we're going to explore a touching family story filled with quiet love, hidden worries, and one surprising secret plan to send Mother Loy on a trip she never expected. How did a simple meal, a phone call, and a small surprise reveal so much about love and family bonds? Stay with me to find out. And if you enjoy this kind of story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next videos. The kitchen felt extra cozy that evening, filled with soft golden light and the smell of freshly fried rice. Jack stood by the stove, moving with the kind of quiet care that always made the room feel warmer. In the pan, rice tossed together with Chinese sausage and homemade kimchi, the fragrance rich and inviting. Tuttien had just finished showering, her hair still slightly damp, and as soon as she stepped into the kitchen, Jack looked over with a small smile. "Perfect timing," he said. "Come eat while it's still hot." Tuttien pulled out a chair and sat down, looking at the plate in front of her. "This smells way too good. You're trying to make me gain weight again, aren't you?" Jack laughed softly as he set down another bowl. "After Tet, everyone gains a little. That's normal. As long as you're healthy, that's what matters." She looked up at him, catching the warmth in his eyes. There was something so sincere in the way he said it that she couldn't help smiling back. "Healthy and happy, right?" "Exactly," Jack said. "Healthy and happy is enough." For a while, they just ate and talked about simple things. The food, the weather, how heavy everyone felt after Tet meals. The conversation was light, easy, the kind that belonged to ordinary evenings at home. But beneath it, Tuttien could sense that Jack had something on his mind. He kept glancing at her, like he was waiting for the right moment. Finally, he set his chopsticks down and leaned back a little. "I need to tell you something." Tuttien looked at him, suddenly attentive. "What is it?" Jack lowered his voice. "I already booked tour tickets for Mom." She blinked. "For Mother Loy?" He nodded. "I asked Ms. Hai and Uncle Dung to help arrange it. I've been thinking she's been carrying too much lately. Ever since the land investment thing with Ms. Thu, she hasn't really relaxed. She keeps acting strong, but I know she's tired." Tuttien went quiet. She understood immediately. The concern in his voice wasn't dramatic, but it ran deep. "She needs a break," Jack continued. "Even just a short trip, somewhere to get away from all the worry." Tuttien slowly nodded. "That's a good idea. If you told her ahead of time, she'd definitely refuse." "Exactly," Jack said, letting out a breath. "That's why I booked everything first. If she knows too early, she'll find some reason to stay home." Tuttien looked down at her bowl for a moment, then back at him. "You're worried she'll be alone and keep thinking too much." Jack gave a small, tired smile. "Yeah, I don't want her sitting at home feeling sad." There was something about that moment that touched Tuttien deeply. It was such a simple conversation, just two people sitting over fried rice in a warm kitchen. But the love in it felt heavy and real. Through Jack's quiet planning, she could see the way he carried his family in his heart. After they finished eating, Jack stood and started brewing hot ginger tea. Outside, the air was chilly, and the steam rising from the cups only made the house feel warmer. Tuttien sat at the table, fingers curled around the mug, while Jack glanced at her hair. "Your hair is still wet," he said. "Dry it carefully, or you'll get a headache." She laughed. "You notice everything." "Because you never do," he replied. They talked a little more, this time about the vegetable garden, about what seeds to plant next, and how the weather had been shifting lately. But even in those ordinary topics, Mother Loy remained somewhere in the middle of their thoughts, like a quiet cloud they were both hoping would pass. Eventually, Jack got up. "I'm going to shower." Tuttien watched him head off, then sat alone for a moment in the dim warmth of the room. The plan was set now. All that remained was convincing Mother Loy to go. She hoped it would work. She hoped the trip would lift something heavy from the older woman's heart. And at the same time, there was a small ache inside her, a fear that if Mother Loy wasn't happy, the surprise would only turn into regret. Later that night, in the living room under the soft, dim light, Jack and Tuttien sat close together on the sofa. Jack held his phone in one hand, staring at the screen for a second before making the call. When Mother Loy answered, his tone was warm, but there was a firmness underneath it. "Mom, I booked a tour for you through Ms. High," he said. "This year, you haven't gone anywhere during Tet, so I want you to take a trip and relax." On the other end, Mother Loy sounded genuinely surprised. "What? Why did you book that? I want to stay home. I still want to be here with Tuttien, go shopping, enjoy being with the family." Jack had expected that. He smiled faintly and kept his voice steady. "This is a March 8th gift. You should go enjoy yourself for a bit." Tuttien leaned closer and joined in, her voice gentle. "Mother, really? I've already been spoiled enough. You should go. Every year before, you used to take trips like this. It'll be good for you." Mother Loy hesitated. Even through the phone, they could feel her reluctance. "I just want to stay home and enjoy the happiness of having everyone together." Jack glanced at Tuttien, then said the one thing he knew would push things forward. "The tickets are already booked, Mom. Everything's arranged. You just need to prepare your luggage." There was a small pause, then Mother Loy sighed. "You two really planned this without telling me." Her voice still carried worry, especially when the old investment matter came up again, but it had softened. Beneath the hesitation was warmth, and maybe even a little gratitude. Before hanging up, she said, "All right then, I'll go. You two have fun too." As soon as the call ended, both Jack and Tuttien let out the breath they had been holding. "You did the right thing," Tuttien said, turning to him with relief. "If you had told her earlier, she never would have gone." Jack nodded and reached for his glass of water. "I know. I just hope she can really enjoy it." They talked a little longer about Uncle Dung, about how helpful and understanding he had been, and about how nice it would be if Mother Loy truly had fun on the trip. Then Tuttien got up to go shower, and when she came back out with wet hair again, Jack just looked at her and shook his head in disbelief. "You never learn, do you?" Before she could answer, he picked up the hairdryer and motioned for her to sit down. Tuttien did, smiling to herself, as the warm air moved gently through her hair. Neither of them said much. They didn't need to. In that quiet moment, everything was already there. The stress, the love, the family worries, the hope that things might get a little lighter. It was in these small acts that their bond showed most clearly, not through big promises, but through care that appeared in the most ordinary moments. And as Jack finally headed off to shower, the room was left holding a fragile kind of peace, one mixed equally with hope and regret. Continue. The next morning came with a sharp early chill. Jack rode with Mother Loy to the bus pickup point, the street still quiet, the air carrying that pale stillness that only belonged to the beginning of the day. Mother Loy sat behind him with a small, simple bag, the kind of luggage that said she still hadn't fully committed in her heart. Even after leaving the house, she was still trying to back out. "Maybe I should just go home," she said softly. "It's March 8th. I was thinking I could stay back, buy something for Tuttien, spend time with the family." Jack turned to look at her, his expression patient. "Mum, this trip is my gift to you. You don't need to worry about anything at home. Just go and enjoy being with your friends for a while." Mother Loy sighed. "Ms. High invited me so many times before, but I was always busy. Now I'm older, and honestly, I don't even feel like traveling far anymore." Jack smiled, though there was still concern in his eyes. "That's exactly why you should go. You've spent so much time thinking about everyone else. Let yourself relax for once." He paused for a second, then added with a small grin, "And Uncle Dung is going too. That's part of the surprise." Mother Loy turned in surprise. "Really?" Jack nodded. "Really? So you won't be alone. Just enjoy it." That finally made her smile. It was faint, but real. "You children always think of everything," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "But honestly, ever since Tuttien came into this home, I've only wanted to stay close to the family. The house feels warmer now." When they reached the pickup point, the place was still half empty, the road stretching quiet and grey in the morning cold. Jack helped her with her bag and stood beside her while they waited. Neither of them spoke much. Some moments didn't need words. The worry about old troubles was still there, sitting silently between them. But so was a new kind of hope. When the bus finally arrived, Jack gave the same reminders any son would. "Be careful. Keep your phone with you. Don't overthink things. Just have fun." Mother Loy nodded, then looked at him with that familiar mix of love and reluctance. "Take care of Tuttien at home." "I will," Jack said. She stepped onto the bus, then turned back one last time to wave. There was still regret in her face, but also something softer, as if maybe she was letting herself believe this trip could be good for her after all. Jack stood there until the bus pulled away. For a moment, the empty pickup point felt strangely quiet after she was gone. He looked down the road, his thoughts heavy with everything he didn't say out loud. The pressure his mother had been carrying, the responsibility he felt as a son, the hope that even a short journey might loosen the knot in her heart. Then he turned and headed home. Back at the market later that morning, rain had started to fall in a fine, steady drizzle. Tuttien walked alone through the narrow aisles between stalls, carrying a basket and stopping here and there to look at seeds and vegetables. She bought bitter melon seeds, climbing bean seeds, red and green amaranth, then picked up sticky rice cakes and pork belly. Her voice was gentle as she chatted with the sellers, but her mind kept drifting. She kept wondering how Mother Loy was doing on the road. Had she settled into the trip yet? Was she still thinking about home? The market wasn't as lively as usual, and when Tuttien couldn't find the seedling she wanted, she finally headed back. By the time she got home, the garden looked even greener under the rain, the leaves glossy and alive. She knelt down in the damp earth and carefully sowed the seeds she had bought, pressing them into the soil with steady hands. Nearby, Cat Mew lingered close, as if supervising everything. "You're my little helper today, huh?" she murmured. Working in the garden gave her an odd kind of peace. Planting seeds always felt like placing quiet hope into the earth and trusting time to do the rest. As she moved from one patch to another, she felt the loneliness of shopping alone slowly give way to calm. The pressure of old worries, of old memories, seemed to fade a little beneath the rhythm of simple daily work. She thought of Jack taking Mother Loy that morning. She pictured the bus, the road, the careful way he must have spoken to her. She hoped everything was going smoothly. After finishing, Tuttien washed her hands and stood looking out at the newly sown rows. The rain kept falling lightly, and the garden seemed to hold the promise of something fresh beginning. She smiled to herself, already thinking about cooking lunch for Jack. Not long after, Jack returned home and found her still by the garden. "You're out here in the rain again," he called gently. Tuttien turned and smiled. "It's only a little rain." He came over and helped her finish up before guiding her inside. Once they stepped into the house, she went to wash her hands. When she turned around, Jack was standing there, holding something behind his back. "What now?" she asked, half amused. Without saying anything at first, he brought out a bouquet of flowers in soft pink and white, along with a gift box of scented shower gel. Tuttien froze. "Jack," he held them out to her with a smile that was both shy and sincere. "For you. I hope you'll always be beautiful, always be happy with me, and always be lucky in life." For a second, she could only stare. Then her eyes softened, and she took the bouquet carefully, as if afraid the moment itself might break. "You always think of me," she said quietly. "You always know how to make me happy." Jack stepped closer. "It's not a big gift, just something small, but I wanted it to mean something." Tuttien looked down at the flowers, then back at him, emotion rising in her chest. She hugged him tightly, and he wrapped his arms around her at once. The rain outside only made the warmth inside the house feel more intense, as if the whole world had narrowed down to that one embrace. It was such a simple surprise, but in Tuttien's heart, it landed deeply. What she felt wasn't just joy, it was the sense that their bond had grown stronger with every ordinary day they had shared, every small act of care, every quiet moment that no one else ever saw. After a while, Jack asked, "How was the market?" She laughed softly, wiping at the corner of her eye. "I bought sticky rice cakes, the kind you like." "Then today is a good day already," he said. They sat down together to eat not long after. Tuttien peeled the sticky rice cakes while Jack asked about Mother Loy, and she told him again what she had felt that morning, that Mother Loy hadn't really wanted to go, but in the end she had still gotten on the bus, especially after hearing Uncle Dung would be there. Jack nodded. "I'm glad she went." As they ate, the conversation drifted from the present into old memories. They laughed about the time sticky rice cake got stuck in someone's teeth back at the little hut. Then they talked about the first days they met, about how simple happiness used to look, and how maybe it still did. Tuttien grew quieter after a while, her fingers resting on the edge of her plate. "Sometimes I still think about how strange it is that I met you," she said. "Back then, I wondered if it was luck, or fate, or just affection. I didn't know how to separate love from being cared for." Jack listened without interrupting. She continued, her voice softer now. "And sometimes I wondered if I was really worthy of this kind of love." Jack's expression changed immediately. He looked at her with complete certainty. "Don't say that. Since you came into my life, Everything has had more meaning. What I feel for you has always been sincere. The rain outside seemed to fall more steadily then, tapping softly against the roof, while inside the room, everything felt still. They kept talking, moving through old joys and old pain, through the hard things they had already survived together. Both of them understood that love wasn't only in the big dramatic moments. It lived in meals shared at the same table, in remembered jokes, in the fact that after everything, they still wanted the same thing: a simple, peaceful life together. After a pause, Tuttien smiled in a slightly embarrassed way. "Can I tell you something else?" Jack looked at her. "Of course. There was a time I got jealous," she admitted, "when Secretary Huyin came around. I knew how much I loved you then, because I felt it so clearly." Jack laughed, not mockingly, but with understanding. "That just means your feelings were real." Tuttien shook her head, smiling now at the memory. "I still remember when I hurt my foot. You stayed and took care of me. You sent Huyin home, and then you cooked noodles for me yourself." "I remember," Jack said. "I remember all of it. And that's when I knew," she said. "No matter what happened, you'd always stay by my side." Jack reached across the table and took her hand. "I always will." The room fell quiet again, but it was the kind of silence that felt full rather than empty. Outside, the rain kept falling, washing over the garden, the roof, the road beyond the gate. Inside, the warmth between them remained steady. They started imagining the future in small, ordinary details, making cakes together someday, tending the garden, living simply, peacefully, side by side. There were no grand promises, only the kind that mattered most because they could be lived every day. Tuttien looked at him and smiled, her heart calm now. The jealousy, the fears, the old insecurities had all softened into something stronger: trust. And as the rain continued to fall beyond the house, they stayed there together, held in that quiet warmth, feeling that after all the storms they had already crossed, what remained between them was something gentle, enduring, and real.